Module 2B, question number 23. So like we said before, guys, we need to decide the relationship before we decide an answer. Is it an and relationship, a but relationship, or a so relationship? I would like to tell you A is and, B is and, C is but, D is so. Now, something special about the and relationships is if you have two of them, it does not mean they cancel each other out, because and does have very different functions with regards to how they're used. So let's read the two sentences together. Earth's auroras, colorful displays of light seen above the northern and southern poles, results broadly speaking from the sun's activity, okay? And then let's go to the second part. The sun releases charged particles that are captured by Earth's magnetic field and channeled toward the poles. These particles then collide with atoms in the atmosphere, causing the atoms to emit auroral light. Okay, so if we're going to say specifically, that means we're taking one piece of the previous idea, right? So here, for example, we're talking about the sun's activity. And now we're giving more detail about this activity. So I like answer A, I might keep answer A. If I say answer B similarly, that means I'm saying something is similar to the sun. So are we comparing two things together? Are we comparing something to the sun? How the sun might be similar with something else? No. Answer C, well, again, this is a but relationship. It actually means a surprise result. And then do we have a surprise result here? Also no. And then hence indicates a cause and effect, so a relationship. Okay, well, a cause effect, but we don't have this. We actually have it reversed. It's more of effect and cause. So for example, if we had because, that would work, but not hence. It's reversed. So we're going to go with answer A. So specifically, it's called a conjunctive adverb. It's a transition, right? LY conjunctive adverb. So what we're doing now is we're taking a small chunk of the previous information and we're giving more detail about that chunk. So I like answer A the most. Number 24. So here in part number 1, you have the U.S. Supreme Court and how they don't want to record their court hearing, right? And it's because they're concerned that the participants would be tempted to perform for the cameras and thus lower the quality of discourse. Now, if you read the second part as well, the justices worry that people also won't even watch it and that they'll believe, court is a circus. What we have here in sentence number 1, it's about reasons. We have reason number 1, why the courts don't want cameras. And the second part is reason number 2. So which transition introduces a second reason or a second idea, right? A means but, B means and, C means but, D means and. We're going to say the answer is B. Additionally, gives us a second reason or a second example. I want you also to notice, do you see answer A and do you see answer C? But transitions cancel each other out. So transitions also cancel each other out. The only transitions that don't cancel each other out are the and ones because they have different reasons. So additionally, it gives us a second reason or a second example. For example, gives us the first example. So they're different in meaning. Question numero 25. The first part discusses about animals and animal brains, right? So the larger the animal, the larger and more energy demanding the animal's brain tends to be. Question mark. Now, look at this second idea. I'm going to highlight it. From an evolutionary perspective, animals that perform only basic actions should allocate fewer resources to growing and maintaining brain tissue. A specialized I'm not going to read the last one. First idea tells us that larger animals, right, with lots of behaviors, they have larger brains, or they demand more energy for their brains. Okay. And then the second idea, animals that perform basic actions should allocate fewer resources. Okay, we have almost a contrast here, right? And you have subsequently, which means and, besides, which means but, nevertheless, which also means but, and thus, which means so. But here's the problem with our two buts. Besides is used as an aside, or besides is used as regardless. So we're not disregarding anything. And then nevertheless, although it shows a contrast, it needs to show a surprising contrast. So for example, Malak studied, nevertheless, she failed her test. Oh, excuse me, that's a bad one. Let's say Malak did not study. Nevertheless, she passed, right? So you're dealing with a surprising contrast. Not only that, you're dealing with a negative positive function. So answer C and B won't work here. Although we have something close to a contrast, I need to work with something else. And then subsequently, well, look at this. It comes in a sequence. Look at that in the middle, right? It comes with a sequence. So when we're not having a sequence of events, thus would be the best one here, because thus not only shows cause and effect, it also shows your ability to draw a conclusion. You see this with these digital SAT questions. When they ask you to fill in the blank, they give you some information, and at the end they tell you thus, period, right? So thus not only shows cause and effect, it can also show your ability or the need to draw a conclusion or inference.